We took our first steps into the forest. There's something about the woods after it rains. The air's so pure and refreshes the spirit. I had a good feeling we'd find that garden in no time. My optimism didn't last long. We spent hours searching every single likely spot, and a lot of unlikely ones too. Yet the garden eluded us. If it was here, it was tucked away somewhere really obscure. While we searched for those flowers, I made sure to keep tabs on Karzeda as well. The sun might have come out, but his expression was still clouded. He looked like he was on the verge of breaking down. I figured I should say something to try and shore up his spirits. I told him that no matter how harsh things are now, or how bad some days will be, there's always meaning in getting up each day, even if it takes some time to find it. Sometimes a search will take you back the way you came. Sometimes it's a detour, but even that has meaning, because the answer could lie off the beaten path. The important thing is to take things 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day at a time. Even regret, though it seems as tall and foreboding as a mountain, might become a gentle hill you could walk over, given enough time. I know what it sounds like, but I wasn't just telling him this to make myself feel better. It's just... sometimes, you have to run when the going gets tough, and that's fine. Just as a ship needs a port in a storm, a soul needs a safe harbor. Turning your back on your problems isn't the solution. No one knows that better than me. But we're allowed to make mistakes. That's part of the journey, and what it means to be alive. At some point, we have to settle up with the demons inside of us and learn to live with them. I've been skyfaring long enough to trust my gut, and it says we'll find that garden.
Thank you. If only I knew what she was growing.
We'll know once we find it. Just stay close to us, okay?
Come join. Let's look for that garden. Maybe we can find some clues around here.
Let me at him! Gotta beat him!
Don't break a hip.
Scared all out, do you, Captain? Bring in the big guy! How about no?
Come on,
Take this!
shall
This
we?
should whittle you
Well
down.
done, everyone. Every rose has her thorns, after all.
This wood is aromatic. It should ward off the beasts. Maybe it was put here to protect the flowers. There might be more nearby. Here goes!
This'll show him!
Going on the same.
Another scented stick. And more over there. This is the place. I know it. But it's...
Damn it! The monsters are really going to town. First things first, we fight. Get back, Karzeda. Watch my back! You're out of luck! Stay focused!
Yes!
Have a face full of poison!
Can't lose focus.
Flying, huh? Nothing me and my gun can't handle. Here's a little payback! Now then! See you around now! Don't think you can trample someone's precious memories and get away with it. You reap what you sow. Come on!
They asked for.
Y'all keep me young.
What can I say?
Thank you.
I'm experienced. Welcome to my garden.
And there's my backup.
On you.
We sure worked them out.
I guess so.
Let's keep it on.
Here's a little payback. You like that? Got him?
Like what it is.
I'm sorry. I lost focus there. You reap what you sow. They're mine. Here's a fun trick.
Take them down.
You got it.
Nerve.
Down there.
We make a good couple.
Yep.
guess so.
I trust you with my life.
To climb.
Got you right where I want you. Your time's up. Here.
We handled the monsters, but the garden.
You all right, Karzada? Come on, pull yourself together. People weren't the only ones who lost their homes to the storm. Monsters that were driven from their former territories flocked to the woods surrounding Folka. We finally found the garden, but the monsters had trampled a good chunk of the flowers, leaving behind only a few pathetically wilted survivors. Karzada stared at the carnage, dumbstruck. I couldn't blame him. It's not like the monsters had done it on purpose, but they might as well have stampeded over his broken heart. I'm no gardening expert, but even in their sorry state, I could tell that the flowers had been well cared for. Fertilizer, spades, watering cans, and other tools were laid out. Inside one of the equipment boxes, we found a notebook with detailed records of all the flowers she had planted. The notebook had instructions on how much fertilizer was needed to help the flowers take root in the mineral-loaded soil, the best time for planting, the names of the flowers, and what they symbolize. I passed the notebook to Karzada, who began reading it as if the secret to life was written in its pages. Maybe for him it was. The last page described another flower garden, separate from this one. With the notebook to guide us, we went in search of it. As we walked, I prayed for Karzada's sake that the other garden was intact.
Hello there.
We came to a quiet clearing in the forest, devoid of any beasts. The only other presence besides us was a crisp breeze. Shafts of sunlight peeked through the trees that shaded the garden. I felt my breath catch in my throat as I took in the sight. Purple anemones bloomed, filling the entire clearing. Just looking at them, I could feel the tension drain from my body.
That's it. These are the flowers she talked about.
Karzada opened the notebook. Flipping through its pages, he came to the section on anemones. Tears spilled down his cheeks as he read her notes.
I see. So that's what she was trying to tell me.
After a while, He pulled himself together and turned to me.
Thank you. For everything.
I saw it through his tears and heard it trembling on his voice. A fledgling seed of hope.
If you hadn't come when you did, well, I never would have known what she wanted to tell me.
He smiled, a pure expression devoid of the previous darkness.
She dreamed of a Tempule blooming with flowers. And I'll carry the torch. I'll make sure her dreams come true.
Glad to hear it. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other and you'll be fine. Karzada placed a hand over his heart and closed his eyes, as though speaking to his beloved. Or maybe he was burning the sight of this garden in his mind's eye. Our time together came to an end, but I felt as if the storm clouds were truly gone, and in its place was a clear blue sky. Maybe part of the reason I was drawn to Karzada is that I could sense that we shared something important. We both had regrets weighing us down. We made our share of mistakes. Still, there's no turning back time. All we can do is keep marching forward. Now that I think about it, just as I was there for Karzada, there were a lot of people propping me up on my journey. I owe all those people my thanks. It's because of them that I stand here today.
Dear Eugen, I can't thank you enough for everything you've done. Every now and then I hear news about you and your crew. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. I was finally able to get licensed as a full-fledged jeweler in Folka. I started creating pieces based on those purple anemones we saw. People love them. I can't make them fast enough to keep up with the demand. The proceeds from the sales go to organizations working to restore Tempule to its former glory. Once we can go back home, I plan to create a large garden, just as she would have wanted. The promise we made as kids can't be fulfilled, but I plan to keep the promise I made to myself. I'll do it to bring her dream to life. P.S. I never did tell you what those purple anemones symbolize. According to her notebook, they mean, I believe in you. I'll wait for you. The next time you're in Folka, look me up. Until then, please take this pressed flower as a token of my gratitude.
Let's do this! We arrived at the appointed location, a corner of Castle Seed Hollow, to find the nobleman gazing down at us from a parapet.
Ah, just the face I've been waiting to see.
My hair stood on end. The crooked smile on his face spoke louder than words. Though I knew his intentions to be wicked, still, I tried to help the man see reason. You gave your word to pay the family Zathba what they are due. Surely you would not break your troth and besmirch your honor. But the man only sneered. Leveling a finger at us, he cried,
My brothers and sisters of the one true church, these are the enemies of Avia.
In the blink of an eye, we were surrounded by Aviate soldiers.
You did well to lead us here.
So these were the remnants of Avia. Even the fall of the church had not been enough to shake their faith in Lilith. In their eyes, Sir Soupstock and I were interlopers. Blasphemers they must put to death.
You've got another thing coming if you think you're gonna get away with this.
Sir Soupstock glared up at the Cullion. I too felt a righteous rage boiling within me. Crooked vice must be beaten straight with the hammer of justice. You shall rue the day you brought the wrath of Charlotta Fenia upon your heads! If you will not listen to our demands, I shall be forced to compel you to.
Does anyone else hear a buzzing little flea? Go forth, my Kayuatar, and decimate them.
Many thanks! On guard!
Decimate!
Not today!
Oh, most impressive. Good thing not a coin was spared to ensure your defeat.
If you've got that much dough, just pay us already.
I'm sorry. I don't speak common. You sound more fine than I thought. But no matter. I have soldiers enough to crush you.
1,000 wicked soldiers is not worth one virtuous knight! I don't think you can take much more.
Fathers, you Skyfarers are insane!
Behold the righteous flame of a holy knight! It's our turn now!
You must be joking! Do any of you claws actually know how to fight? Stop! I command you! What? Don't want us to break your expensive toy? Silence!
Not a scrap! This has gone on long enough!
How is this possible? Is this all your mighty church has to offer?
What do you think?
A nightmare! This has been a nightmare!
That was a battle for the ages!
Sweet blazing broth! That crew of yours really is full of beasts!
After making some courteous response to Sir Soupstock, I turned my attention to the nobleman. You must pay for what you bought. I thought even children knew that. And so, with many groans and grimaces, the varlet handed Sir Soupstock what he was owed.
You sure got me out of a tight spot. Thanks. And sorry about all that crap I said about you looking like a kid.
I assured him there were no hard feelings. Comforted, he continued.
I shouldn't be saying this being in my line of business at all, but truth is I'm not much of a fighter. Would have been dead meat if it weren't for you.
He confided in me that, when the Tayuitar appeared, he felt the blood of courage draining from his body. I too am not immune to fear, but as a pure and righteous knight of Lumiel, I have duty, honor, and purpose as my guiding lights. Hearing that, Sir Soupstock graced me, for the first time that day, with a shy smile.
Hello there.
With the Aviath soldiers defeated and the money safely in hand, I believed it to be clear skies. And yet, some clouds still darken Sir Soupstock's brow.
Man, I can't even do my job without somebody holding my hand. Maybe I just ain't cut out for this, yeah?
Apparently, even his own officers afforded him little respect. However, I saw in his earnest eyes and noble bearing that he had the makings of a great leader. Alas, we cannot view ourselves but by outward reflection, which often dims our inner value. You were given high office, Sir Soupstock. Does that not mean someone sees in you true worthiness, though you yourself may be blind to it? You must polish yourself until the quality of your character shines forth for all the world to behold. If you remain forever pure and forever righteous, then surely those around you will be attracted by your light. The lad lent me an attentive ear. But my words were not enough to blow the clouds of doubt from his face.
I mean, just take a look at how our city's split. You've got Golden Oaks, where the nobles and elite dwell, and the rest of us tucked away in Copper Square, which is, let's face it, a slum.
He continued.
Those wide-eyed beliefs of yours wouldn't last 2 seconds among the dirt and smoke of Copper Square. I wish I could be the person you say I am, but...
Biting his lip, Sir Soupstock shook his head and fell silent. A few days later, Sir Soupstock asked me to meet with him again. In a cozy Seed Hollow tavern, he told me he'd investigated our erstwhile friend, the nobleman. It seemed the scoundrel was now prancing about the city, spreading lies and slander about the family Zothba. Sir Soupstock hoped to make his own rounds and mend what damage he could. But, fearing yet another ambush from Avia, he hoped I would accompany him as his guard. His own staff, infuriated by the nobleman's dastardly doings, were foaming at the mouth and mad for a fight. However, the level-minded Sir Soupstock knew that stooping to bloody violence would only further stain their image.
I've gone through his dirty linen, and believe me, there's a lot of filth. I'd leak it now, but with these rumors floating around, I don't know if anybody'd believe me.
Never one to stand for such injustice, I began cudgeling my brain for a solution. We began to meet with people in the street, contradicting the libel and restoring faith in the family Zothba. I learned that a good informant is well known and well trusted, and, according to his own officers, no one in Seed Hollow was better liked than Sir Soupstock. Though his mannerisms savored, admittedly, of a brute, at his core he was as sweet and pure as any lily, It was little wonder the denizens of Seed Hollow were fond of him. As we exchanged more words and tidbits of information, a picture began to form of the nobleman's intentions. He was not acting, it seemed, solely from a place of vengeance. The churl desired to build his own network of informants, using the remnants of the Church of Avia. Furthermore, in his lust for wealth, he was terrorizing the good people of Copper Square and compelling services from them. Thus, the family Zathba, who kept peace in the district, was to him a bother and a nuisance. It was likely he craved their banishment. Now, fully apprised of the situation, Sir Soupstock told me of his intention to once again meet face to face with the crafty villain. We called upon the nobleman, who, as before, had found himself a lofty place to stand, no doubt to compensate for his lowness of character. Sir Soupstock stepped bravely forth and spoke thus.
Listen, punk. We know you've been kidnapping people and using them for forced labor, which is, FYI, illegal. I've also got proof that all the money from that phony charity of yours is being used to hire Aviath soldiers.
And?
The nobleman showed no sign of discomposure. Not one hair on his well-groomed head stirred. And yet, Sir Soupstock, bless his valiant soul, refused to back down.
Once this information gets out, you can kiss your fancy-ass titles goodbye.
Oh, but it's not going to get out. You see, that's why I've threaded together my lovely little network. Those rumors I circulated? Merely the opening act. I've got the soldiers now, and come next week, it's curtains for the family Zathba.
The nobleman showed his teeth in a glacial grin.
So you want all-out war? But why?
Sir Soupstock stared back, fuming.
Well, I suppose there's no harm in revealing my master plan here. Dead men tell no tales, and all that.
In the nobleman's eyes, coins from his charity were trickling toward a worthy cause, the subjugation of Copper Square. Putting the people there to work, he said, would do wonders for Seed Hollow's economy.
Can't you see? I'm taking rubbish and forming it into something useful. You and all you Zathba toadies are standing in the way of progress!
With that, the nobleman pointed an accusing finger at us.
These interlopers mean to hinder the mission of the church. Destroy them.
At the sound of his voice, Aviath soldiers sprung from the shadows and hemmed us in. Stand down, Sir Soupstock! I shall teach them a lesson they won't soon forget! Here was a knave that would exploit the weak for his own profit. If I failed to make him repent his crimes, 'twould be a stain on the name of the Lumiel Order!
Fall, so that our church may rise again.
I shall never fall to wickedness!
Good? Evil? It's all relative. It's the winners who write history, after all.
And let us see who fights for the stronger cause!
You're a tenacious little flea, I'll give you that. But this time, I brought my most ruthless warriors.
Violence and fear. Do you want this to be your legacy?
At least I shall have a legacy.
Yes, it's time!
What? You can't even kill a little girl? Fools! Worthless bitch!
How dare you speak to your comrades like that? You're the only pig here. Respectable! Come on, then!
All units advance! Destroy them! Destroy them!
Soon, you shall see that
Impossible! How were all those soldiers defeated by a single girl?
Fortune favors the virtuous. Right sword! Blessed is thy steel! A leader must earn the good graces of their followers through pure and righteous conduct. You cannot buy it with gold, nor command it with power or titles. But instead of lending an ear to my advice, the nobleman began running his mouth, stabbing his own soldiers in the back with sharp words.
I thought you Avia bunch were stronger. Pity. The whole damned lot of you aren't even worth a rupee. But don't think you've won, interlopers. I am still a member of the noblesse. Those copper square dogs would lick my shoes in return for a crumb of favor. You may celebrate for a day, but the ultimate triumph shall be mine!
You sure about that?
Sir Soupstock pulled a transceiver from his pocket.
Everything you've said to us, you've said to those copper square dogs. Face it, jackass. You're finished.
Voices of censure and indignation began to spill from the transceiver. As Sir Soupstock turned a dial, they magnified, filling all the air with rage.
It can't be.
Here and there, amongst the heated words, were cries of exultation and praise for the family Zappa. Thus, overcome by a raging sea of noise, the nobleman bowed his proud head and fell to his knees.
Hello there.
Sir Soupstock and his staff expressed great admiration for my swordplay.
It's just mind-boggling, you know? You've probably trained harder than most of the best mercenaries out there.
His words raised the gate on a flood of memories, washing me back to a time when I was desperate to prove myself. Yes, it took hard training and much toil to come this far, but I would have collapsed by the wayside long ago if there hadn't been people who supported me on my path. I am where I am because of them. Now, I tried to pay their goodwill forward by helping others as they helped me.
So you never stopped trying to be the best version of yourself.
Sir Soupstock turned his eyes toward the heavens.
I wish I could be strong like you. I wish I had the guts to just go busting in through the front door, sword blazing and ready to dispense justice.
Hearing this, all of his officers raised their voices in protest.
But you are strong. You got it all, man. The brains, the chill, the network, and the integrity. You could search the whole sky and never find a better informant. We're proud to work for you.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Sir Zappa, who'd been watching from afar, made his way forward and clapped a hand on Sir Soupstock's shoulder.
You did good, Soupstock. Just like I knew you would.
Boss, it's an honor.
And that was the first time I ever saw Sir Soupstock give free rein to his emotions. When I visited Seed Hollow sometime later, I heard at the Knick-Knack Shack a certain rumor. Apparently, one of the officers of the family Zappa had taken up forever pure, forever righteous as his creed. Even his staff could be heard reciting the words.
The Justice Soup Gang, led by Mr. Mohawk, has been getting a lot of missions lately, and the family Zappa stocks are on the rise. regular soup stock, that is.
I glanced about me and saw only faces as bright as the sun. And I knew in my heart that the warmth of those smiles did not derive from Lady Sierra Carte's rather pitiable jest.
On days without work, I would meditate on the deck of the Grand Cipher. One day, the voice of Vern broke through my meditations.
I don't know. She looks pretty wound up. Wouldn't she usually have dozed off by now? I'm telling ya, something's going on.
He was livelier than ever. Perfect.
You shouldn't push yourself too hard, Narmaya.
And sweet, tender Lyria. Yes, this was how things should be. I cracked open my eyes and stole a hopeful glance at the captain. But on that kind face, I could read only worry and distress. I wanted nothing more than to comfort my darling. No, I was acting for their sakes. I had already come so far. If I could just hold to my path a little longer, make the skies a little safer, then I could go back to being their big sister. I needed more strength. I needed to be worthy of this family. The crew of the Grand Cipher was powerful, but in the end, we were only small people in a vast sky, filled with endless dangers. If I didn't get stronger, one day that sky would engulf us. I had to protect them. I could protect them. All I was lacking was time. I couldn't believe it. I rushed back to Zero after every mission, but that day the captain had dropped by without my knowledge and taken up a request, a particularly treacherous one. It was careless to think that Zero would reserve every single dangerous job for me.
The Grand Cipher crew's more than capable of handling it.
Couldn't she see? The universe worked in dark and mysterious ways. Their lives were always in danger. If I allowed monsters to wander free through the skies, their rot would continue to seep until I, just one lonely figure, could no longer hold back the tide. I had to hunt them all down. There was not a moment to lose. I had to cut down the root of evil, so it could never spread again. I would not kill out of malice, nor did I seek meaningless violence. But when weighing the lives of my loved ones against the lives of these beasts, the answer was clear. As long as their threat persisted across the skies, the crew would never truly be safe. And so I would wield my blade to protect the crew and the helpless. For the captain, I would become the harbinger of death. Everything is for the captain. My captain. My dearest captain. I would kill, and kill, and kill, and kill. Every last threat. I found the largest known monster's den in this skydom, and began my hunt. Die, for the sake of the skies, and my captain. My blade cut through flesh and bone. Again, Again. Again and again. And soon, time lost all meaning. How long was I there? Perhaps 3, or even 4 days. My grip went numb, my vision blurred, my body grew heavy. But I couldn't stop. Not here. With these hands, I would deliver my loved ones. Even if it meant steeping them in blood. Next is 979. I must stay strong. For the captain. I must destroy every threat. They must all be eliminated. Twisted thoughts, certain as death. Flutter like the dawn. My hands have gone numb, but even in death, my sword and I are one. Out of my sight. Come, the tide rises. Wind in the field. Dawnfly stands. Not yet. Dance of the Blue Float. Pass away! To see me is to see death. Rain on the hills. Again. Scatter. Come, my friend. Not yet. 999. There's more above me. I can feel it. Here. have breathed your last. Beauty is transient. Night falls. Foam on the sea. Evanescence. Breathe, flutter, stick. Wind in the field, cross its moon. Gather, come, my friend. Soar. Small wings may beckon a storm. Butterfly effect, moonlight. Watch out for their next attack. Foam on the sea. Oh! The tide rises. I will take your life, even if it costs me mine. Wind and right away. Speak, my float. Cross its moon. I must protect the captain. You're finished. Rain on the hills. Gather. Come, my friend. 1,000. I finally did it. Wait. There's more of them. Impossible. My body had reached its limit. I had managed to fend off countless hordes of monsters, but more kept creeping from the shadows. I summoned the last of my strength for one final swing. Then my sword clattered to the ground. Darkness. Monsters began to close in, claws drawn, ready to kill. I closed my eyes, waiting for it all to end. But before my mind could fade into darkness, I was roused by a brilliant flash.
Normaya!
Captain?
Let's get you out of here! Quickly! You had us worried, you know?
Vern, Lyria too? The captain took my hand, but I couldn't leave yet. I had to finish the job.
Narmaya, I'm so sorry we didn't notice what you were going through sooner.
My heart plunged. I should have been the one apologizing. I was the one who failed. Gently, I tried to withdraw my fingers from the captain's.
We heard it all from Sierra. Can't believe she's been giving you all the hard jobs. You were doing it to protect us, right?
I parted my lips. They needed to understand that it wasn't Sierra's fault, that I brought this all on myself. But my arid throat could not push out a voice. After a moment of silence, the captain pressed down on my hand.
Narmaya, I want to protect those closest to me, same as you. So if something's on your mind, don't keep it to yourself. We're here for you.
And just like that, I was overcome with the emotions I had tried so hard to suppress. How could I have been so blind? Not a single one of us could protect the crew. But that's okay, because all of us could protect each other. The whole is greater than its parts. The captain's grip was firm and led me blinking into the sunlight. There, I saw worry etched into the faces of the crew. I realized that, by putting myself in harm's way, I hurt those who cared for me. Those who loved me, those I wanted to spend my days with, now and forever. But the course I had been following could only lead to isolation. The captain still hadn't let go of my hand. Though the grip of those calloused fingers was firm, I felt a gentle kindness in their warmth.
Yes, can I help you?
Captain, are you hungry? I'd be more than happy to feed you. Or maybe you'd like a nap. I always thought I had to be strong for my loved ones, never truly realizing they were my strength. We supported each other. We lessened the burden of sorrow and shared the light of joy. Lyria, you've got a bit of cream on your cheek. Here, let me wipe it off for you.
Oh, thank you, Narmaya. I'm glad Butterfly Girl's back to normal. But is it just me, or is she laying it on even thicker than usual?
Vern was adorable, trying to play the part of the tough dragon. However, as I took him into my arms, I thought, he shouldn't have to put on an act around me. After all, we're family, aren't we? On a bright, quiet day, I had a sparring match with the captain. I once locked myself away from the world in the pursuit of strength, training in solitude. But I've since found that I train best with those I love around me, to lend me a guiding hand or an encouraging voice. The captain held nothing back during our session. It seems I'm not the only one who has grown stronger. Our blades rang bright and clear, and the captain's smile is a clear reminder of how far I'd come. After training was over, we stood for a while longer on the deck of the Grand Cipher, feeling the breeze. Above us, the azure sky was spread as far as the eye could see, its splendor too much to take in all at once. I felt as if I would be consumed by the sky itself, and grasped the captain's hand. In that moment of peace, I swore that I would keep learning and growing. Not alone, but together with those I love.
Have a nice day.